Hello, this is Dattaji, and I am preaching the spiritual knowledge of Sri Dattaswami. Death is not salvation. It is only the soul changing one body for a new one, as a person changes one shirt for another. The 5 elements which constitute the body are like 5 free birds. The Lord brings them together by force and puts them in the cage of the form of a human body. In forcibly bringing the free birds together, there is a decrease in entropy, which is disorder. There is a natural tendency of any system to increase in entropy. In other words, things spontaneously tend to go into disorder, which is a state of greater freedom. This is to say that the birds are always trying to get free and fly away. Owing to the grace of the Lord, the elements have combined in this human body by force. The human body is extremely rare to get. It has a very special goal, and that is to realize God. It is for this purpose that we have been given the human body. When a human being in his life forgets God and gets engrossed in samsara, it is a waste of precious human life. It becomes essential for the Lord to remind him of his purpose in life and to change his direction from the world to the Lord. He does so by threatening to open the cage of the birds representing the 5 elements. He does not open it, but merely threatens. This threat causes the 5 elements to try to escape, but they do not actually escape. We experience this as a disturbance in the 5 elements which constitute the body. Such a disturbance is disease. Thus, disease is a warning from the Lord for us to change our course and remember the Lord. There is another purpose of giving disease to a person. Every person has done some bad deed in the past for which he has to suffer according to the theory of karma. He has to get the karma phala, or the fruit of his actions. Therefore, by giving disease, God achieves more than one purpose: to reduce the ego of the person, to turn him to God, and to exalt some of his karma phala. Thus, delivering the karma phala and spiritual development of the soul is carried out simultaneously. This can be compared to a teacher who, as a punishment to a poor performer in his class, assigns extra assignments in the same subject. He achieves 2 ends by this single punishment. He not only punishes poor performance, but also helps him to develop in the subject by extra assignments. Thus, in giving disease and adversity to us, we can see the Lord's infinite compassion. In spite of his repeated warnings in the forms of disease, when a person refuses to mend his ways, he issues orders to release the birds from the cage. The elements which were forcibly kept in the cage of the human form fly away. This is seen as the death and disintegration of the body. Even in death, his compassion alone is reflected. Death is followed by severe treatment in hell. Here the soul suffers for its sins or bad deeds. This suffering exhausts all the fruits of the bad deeds. It can be compared to exceedingly dirty clothes being cast off and taken to the laundry. There they are soaked in corrosive detergent, scrubbed and beaten. When they are done, they are as clean as new. Likewise, the soul, after it has exhausted all its sins, comes out thoroughly cleansed. Disease or adversity can be compared to a simple wash in plain water. When that is not sufficient to change a person, he gives the person a thorough and vigorous wash in the laundry called hell. The soul comes out as good as new. Thus, death is in fact the infinite kindness of the Lord. Thus, there is no need to fear death. One should be glad that he is dying, remembering that it is the infinite kindness of the Lord. Death means that you will be washed thoroughly and will come out clean. He is wiping your slate clean and giving you a fresh start. We have an extremely negative view of death. In reality, there is no reason to have such an attitude. We should have a positive attitude towards death. It is said that death is spontaneous and natural, while life is brought about by force. This is better understood using the concept of entropy. Death is a high entropy state, while life is a low entropy state. Dying means the elements are going into a state of disorder, and hence the process is spontaneous. At the time of death, we should thank the Lord with full heart for wiping our slate clean and giving us a new start. God should always be looked at with a positive attitude. He is the embodiment of love and compassion. All that he gives us in our life is ultimately for our benefit.
కనిపించుదత్త 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 నా కళ్ళకు నీ కొరకే దత్త నీ కొరకే దత్త నీ కొరకే దత్త నా బ్రతుకు నీ ఎడబాటు నేనోర్వలేను ఎన్నాళ్ళు స్వామి ఈ ద్వైత బంధం నా గుండె చీల్చిది నీకోసమేను నీకింక ఈ లోక సంచారమేలా కనిపించు దత్త కనిపించు దత్త కనిపించు దత్త నా కళ్ళకు నీ కొరకే దత్త నీ కొరకే దత్త నీ కొరకే దత్త నా బ్రతుకు